Okay, got my golf cart all warmed up as I'm going to take Charles Ford and his friend Siri Fields on a tour of my yard. I'm certain Charles will have many questions, as he always does. Oddly enough, Charles is being videoed for the story of his life here in Lansing. He has come back here from Atlanta, where he now resides. A couple of nights ago, I attended his filming session with many of his friends, a whole boatload of friends. I am blessed to have this crew now out to my house as I share stories of his past. Enough of my talk. Let's get onto our golf cart and tour the yard. Here we go. Hey, Charlie.
Hey.
You're right on time. You know,
oh, man, good to see you, Dave.
You're the only guy in the world that's right on time. I thought I'm the only one. You, right here, 10 o'clock, right on time. I love it.
I know you, Dave. I told him, we're going to get there at 10 or a little bit before because I know how Dave is.
Got to be on time. That's true.
Dave, the place is looking awesome, man. Just as always.
I mowed the lawn just because you were coming over.
Yeah. You know? I appreciate that. I like a nice mowed lawn.
Hey, thank you. Come on, let's go take a look.
All right.
We'll come, you guys. 3-minute ride before we go inside. Jump on the golf cart. Come on, all of you. We got room.
I caught about 20 right here, Dave. I caught about 20 right there. Wow. And I sent him to my grandson out here for Father's Day. 1 year.
1 year, maybe 2 years.
2 years back.
Bag after bag, spent hundreds of hours this year trying to get rid of that algae on here, whatever the deal is, bag after bag of expensive chemical, trying to get rid of it. This year it just won't go away for whatever.
A group of people, staff, or you have a contractor that comes in?
No, my son actually comes out and mows it twice a week. Twice a week. I think I ride lawnmowers. Mowing is the easy part. Coming around here with a weed whip and pulling all the weeds around all the trees, that's the hard part. And I do that, you know. So yeah, I get on a ride mower riding around, and I pay them good money to do that and so on. But
wow. We are here at the Dave Sheets Estate, and he's been giving us a tour. Dave, come on, tell us a little bit about your property here. I see these nice rocks out here and the ponds. The ponds have fish in it?
What's to tell? I mowed it just for you because you were coming over today, you know? So other than that, it looks like hell, you know? That's a joke. If you'll notice, there's not one dandelion. 10 acres of lawn that we mow twice a week and so on. Not one dandelion because I hate dandelions. So anyway, yes, it's a perfect day to have you here for a visit. You know, haven't seen you in a while. This is great. So.
You know, Dave, I really appreciate, you know, just being here and talking with you. But I see these rocks. I mean, they look like they're just perfectly placed. I mean, what happened? Were they here when you moved here?
They were. I wish they were. I picked them out one at a time from Hammond Farms. You know, picked out just some of them are mica, some of them are granite, and then they delivered them. And my lawn was all done by the time they delivered these things. They brought a truck that wasn't heavy enough to lift those rocks, and they drugged those rocks with this machine all across my lawn. I got home and I was upset.
Oh, really?
My yard, every one of those rocks, they had this machine that kind of drug them across my lawn. It looked just like this and so on. They drug ruts all over my yard. It just made me sick.
Well,
he made it right. He got out here and took care of it and so on. They just tore my yard up. But anyway, that's my story.
Yeah, well, good. You know, and I've fished out here before. I mean, and there's plenty of fish. I've caught 20 over here and maybe about 25 over here. And
that's true. Lots of fish. People ask me sometimes, Dave, is there fish in those ponds? I say, what good's a pond without fish? Of course there's fish in the ponds, you know?
Yeah, and I want to thank you. I know you have a big Father's Day gathering here each year, and I want to thank you. I was able to bring my son and my grandson out 1 year, and they still talk about it. They still talk about it.
Well, let's bring them back. You left the country. You don't see us anymore, you know. So good to have you back in town. You know, this is great.
Well, good. It's good to be back, Dave. Good seeing you out here. the things I always like to come and visit here on your property is this formation of the United States, this rock formation. Wow. I mean, did you think of this, or what was going on?
You want to know why I did this? The ground moles had taken over this area and so on. But they had this funny little shape that resembled the United States. It wasn't big like this, just a little area. And I said, you know what? That's where creativity comes from. I said, you know what? Let's make a United States map out of this and so on. And at the time, it was beautiful. It had edging between each state and so on. But over the years, the edging has broke loose, and we've had to pull it out and so on. And it still looks nice. But when I finished it, and this tree wasn't even here.
Oh, really?
That tree has grown here since then. That's how many years ago that I had him put this in and so on. But yeah, that was a project, cutting out each stake and had an artist out here to put it together and so on, and with a map, and laid it all out, and they'd like to kind of overflow with each other now, the stones and so on. But at one time it was perfect, and it still looks nice.
Oh yeah, I still think it's awesome. It's just awesome. All right, so we're gonna get ready to go to the house.
Wow, wasn't that fun? That breeze blew us away a couple of times. You know, Charles and I always had great times in our years together. This guy, amazingly, has never had a glass of wine or a cocktail in his life. He does get a little uptight occasionally. We were out to the bar one night, a couple of years ago, and I suggested, Charles, why don't you have a glass of wine? Wow, did I get shut down. That ended that. We never had a conversation. Charles fired back at me. I've never had a drink in my life. David, I'm not going to do it now. Don't ever ask that question. We had some great times at my restaurant, the Cadillac Club, and I will tell some stories as we continue our afternoon. Folks, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's free.